It's no secret that I normally review and evaluate updates and events after they've been added to the game, so that we have no worry about speculation or hearsay of what is coming in the future. However, next week's update is so huge that one member of the community called Stone reached out to me and said he thought it was best that I let you guys know what was coming because he felt that people need to be prepared for what's coming next week. Now, if you don't know who Stone is, Stone has said some interesting things about me on the Idle Heroes Discord, such as this, and also this. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that I was a little taken aback that Stone reached out to me, considering Stone has said some not quite nice things about my content. It's all part of a joke that was originally built around this fella and a certain amount of people that were also building him as their first E5 based on my first free-to-play series. In fact, Rogan isn't a very good first E5, but unfortunately a lot of people followed suit and it became a bit of a joke in the Discord. Also, I may have made a video a while ago moaning about the Void, which he didn't enjoy, and you know, that was also a little fun video. Despite our shaded past, Stone put our differences aside and reached out to me saying I needed to cover this update because it's really important that you guys know what's coming. And I've had a look at some of this stuff, and I might even go so far to say that this is probably my favorite update that's ever happened to Idle Heroes. And that's saying something, because I was pretty excited about the Celestial Island update when that happened last year. But wait, this is like the Celestial Island update, but way better. The only issue is you need to get yourself a first E5 hero before you unlock the Void, which is what the voidark, this new update, is going to be a part of. So if you haven't already unlocked the Void, go and get your first E5. I'm actually going to be doing a video this weekend covering my guide on how to build your first E5, which builds on my old guide from over a year ago that was my guide to building your first E3. Times have changed, things have moved on, that video needs to get released. So guys, let's take a look at the voidark. I'm pretty excited to show you what you need to know. So basically, because it's in the Void, it's a spacified version of Celestial Island. That doesn't mean they've just taken the ship and stuck rocket boosters on the back of it and sent us off to the stars. No, not quite. It's more of a floating fortress that, you know, makes its way through the cosmos. Doesn't really matter how they flavor it, but either way, it's still pretty cool. I like things set in space. In fact, I like that more than fantasy, so this pleases that little itch, even though it's an entirely cosmetic thing. That said, you need to know what's coming and what's inside this little old spaceship. So there's the central hall. This is the first place that you'll see. It's basically a store where you can buy multiple resources. All of them are pretty exciting. So there's mundane stuff like heroic scrolls, but there's also interesting resources like stellar shards, transcendence crystals, and other things that are going to really massively boost your progress in the Void. We'll cover that in a little more depth when we actually have this update and we can take a look at it. But trust me when I say this is going to be a fantastic way for you guys to boost your progress in the Void. Because let's be honest, stellar shards are really difficult to get your hands on in a massive quantity. There are lots of people out there that have spent a ton of money on the game that don't even have a full team of Void 4s yet. You need to do a ton of Cores of Transcendence to get a lot of stellar shards, and it's very difficult for a lot of budget players to do that. So hopefully this game mode is going to increase the amount of stellar shards we can get, which means we can get Void 4 heroes much more easily. And actually, if you have Void 4 heroes more easily, you can get more progress in the Realms Gate, which means you'll then get more of this resource, so it will feed into itself. I think it's a really nice addition that it's coming out, and it's definitely going to make the Void a lot more accessible and a lot more fun for players. As well, there's going to be 3 other buildings. There's going to be one called the Collector Workshop, which basically increases your capacity of resources you can get from this, and that's just basically how much stuff you can get, and getting stuff is good, so that's going to be important to upgrade. Also, there's going to be the Spaceship Lab, which can increase your tech path, which will increase the amount of damage you do in this game mode, so it's going to help you deal more damage means more resources means winning. And the final building will be the Arcane Nexus, which will produce a resource that will allow you to challenge enemies when you're off on your space explorations. These particular enemies will be called Void Lords, which are meant to be highly powerful enemies, which no doubt will give us a significant amount of resources. So getting the Arcane Nexus up to produce this, to then attack these enemies, is probably something we're going to have to do. Again, we'll take a bigger look at that when the update is out and we can really get our hands in on it. So why are we doing this? What's the point? Well, we send in a team of 15 heroes that are either 6-star all the way up to E5. And that's important because actually it's going to mean that we're going to need a lot of 6-star heroes if you've only got one E5. Does this mean you have to halt your progress and build a ton of 6 stars? No, you definitely just want to get your first E5 open the void, but if you have a team of 15 heroes, it means you can explore more and get better resources. However, the resources you get will depend on how powerful that hero is, so obviously it's ideal you have a team of 15 E5s, but let's be honest, for a lot of you out there, that's a very expensive investment to have that many heroes, especially if a lot of you are new that have only been playing for maybe the last 6 months. You're not going to have 15 E5s. Does that mean you can't take part? No, not at all. 6-star heroes will be enough, but obviously you want to have them at a higher level so that you can get better rewards. Also, I like this because it's DH Games rewarding people for building wide as opposed to building tall. Because in the early game, you want to build tall, just get one E5 hero and unlock the void, but then you can spread out, enjoy, build a lot of heroes, have some fun. Building a full team of different heroes could pay off in the long run and get you some better stuff. So having a big team of 15 heroes means you can explore more because the heroes each go out on missions and get resources, and that's the way it's going to work. So basically, the premise is you need 15 heroes to stick in your ship and basically function as your exploration crew. The different planets you can explore will contain different resources. Some of the rewards are really neat, including Stellar Shards and then Transcendence Crystals, again, helping us make progress, helping us get Transcendence Heroes. I think that's really neat. I can't stress how good it is that we can get Stellar Shards and Transcendence Crystals, because they are the two pretty much whale-capped things at the moment where getting them is really, really tricky. So it's nice that there's additional ways we can get our hands on either the stuff we need to build Transcendence Heroes or the stuff we need to make our heroes all the way up to Void 4. So I'm a big fan of that. In addition, it's going to get you other resources which can help you all across this game mode. There's a ton of different things that basically are going to feed into each other. They're going to make your capacity in the workshop higher. They're going to make your ability to attack enemies stronger because you're going to be able to deal more damage. It's all going to feed into itself. It's beautiful. You might be a bit overwhelmed that there's all these additional resources that are going to be coming out and you're getting as rewards, but they basically are just used to make this game mode better. The only resource that's really going to change the game, or at least other things outside of this update, is going to be a new resource called an egg. And these eggs can give you 3 types of things. The first are protos. Protos are these new creatures in the game that benefit particular kinds of heroes, making them more powerful across all areas of the game. There's a 7% chance to pull a proto from an egg, and there are protos for each faction and also a proto for each class. There are 5 classes in the game, 7 different factions including Transcendence, so that's a total of 12 different protos. And these little critters are going to be something we want to upgrade. Thankfully, you may be thinking, hang on a second, 7% to get a proto, what's the other 93? Well, there's an 80% chance to get a resource for upgrading protos, and a 13% chance to get resources that evolve protos after they've reached a certain tier. So evolving protos, making them stronger, upgrading them with that other resource, and of course getting copies of protos so that you can have them, you know, you're going to need these fellas, is really important. Eventually, you're going to have all of the different protos, and you're going to have them all at max level, but that's endgame. That's way off. What they've basically done is added a new feature which we can chase, we can look forward to. And I think one thing that's happened with Idle Heroes is it feels a lot less like a hero collector game and more like a grind game. And I'm not against grinding, right? But I prefer idle grinding, where we don't do much. And that's why I like Celestial Island, because it just happens. You log in, you do beep, boop, beep, boop, boop. You do your Celestial Island, easy peasy. Some people criticize the Realms Gate because it's a lot more maintenance. Protos are something we can collect. They're things we can enjoy leveling up. And a lot of people play games like Idle Heroes because they like collecting stuff. Why are games like Pokemon so popular? Well, it's because you can collect things, build a team, have fun just doing that. It's the chase that's more interesting. I actually have found a lot of people quit the game when they reach endgame because the fun of Idle Heroes was building them. Right? It's building the heroes. Once you've got them, you're like, oh, I've done that now. What next? Build more? But I've already done Seal Land 20, and I've already cleared Tower. Why do I need more heroes? It's nice that this Protos update is going to give us something more to chase. And I think it's going to be bigger, actually, for newer players, because not only are you having the fun of chasing E5s and building endgame heroes, you're also going to have the fun of building these Protos. So those two things are going to go hand in hand. And let's say you unlock a Protos that benefits Rangers, you could be like, oh, that's interesting, because I could then maybe build a Ranger and synergize here, and here. Or, oh, what if I can have maybe the Fortress Proto? Maybe I need to build more Fortress heroes. Maybe I should chase Seal Land in Fortress. And you start thinking and being led by the protos you get, and I think it's going to affect a lot of people's game development, because these protos are going to help the heroes that fall into their category, whether it's a class or whether it's a faction. And it's nice that that's a little varied, and I think it's going to help people make more progress in different areas of the game. We may see heroes able to clear Seal Land 20 that weren't able to clear it before. We may see people able to do things with heroes that they weren't able to do before. We may see combinations of heroes that are more interesting because let's say someone unlocks the mage proto really early on and thinks, oh, maybe I should just go for a mage team then. And they upgrade that proto, they get that proto to max, because obviously you're not going to be spreading your proto resources too thin. You're probably going to have to chase one and then another one, or maybe just build two at the same time. So we won't really know how that's going to feel until protos have been added to the game and how quickly we get resources and whether we hit caps quickly or not at all. But one thing is worth mentioning, is it takes a month for this game mode to reset. And how many eggs we get in that time, I'm not sure. How many heroes and resources we'll get in that time, again, I'm not sure. So basically, in that 30-day period, you can clear the star maps, you can do all your exploring, you can have a good time, but you'll notice an improvement month after month if you're a middle-staged player who maybe only has 1 or 2 E5s. Because as you get more E5s, you'll get more resources. As you get more resources, your teams will become stronger much quicker. And I think people that are starting off the game now or have established themselves in the game but aren't completely at endgame are actually going to enjoy this update a lot more than people that are already completely established. That said, people that are already completely established have 15 E5s and can just get the best resources straight away and upgrade their protos quicker. So actually, whales are going to have a great time here too. And in fact, you spend gems to hatch eggs quicker because actually it takes 20 hours to hatch one of these eggs, which is a long time. So whales get the benefit of being able to go hatch, and no doubt there's going to be heavy spenders out there that are going to hatch a ton of eggs early. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to waste my gems doing that. There's way better things for me to spend my gems on, but I think other people are going to do that, and I think that's going to be fine. How much gems is that going to cost? I don't know, because I haven't got the update in front of me. I know it's out on TapTap servers, so you might be able to get more information elsewhere, but I generally try to keep myself spoiler-free, so I know this is a bit of a heavy spoiler for me to have anyway, but I just really want to get it myself and grit in. So if you want to catch that video coming in the future, when this update does come next week, we'll just take a look at it, we'll explore and see what's coming. Definitely hit the subscribe button for that. But what you need to know is basically there's this ultimate space citadel that's going to go flying around. It's going to have a bunch of different rooms that's going to give us a ton of great resources, and you're going to need a team of 15 heroes that are 6-star or higher to pilot it and get the most out of your resources. Obviously, having an E5 is pretty much essential to unlock this mode because you need to unlock the void. So I'm going to say it again. If you do not already have an E5 hero, get one, because it's pretty much the first thing you have to do. DH Games couldn't handhold you any harder. You click the void, it says you need an E5 hero. Every video made by any content creator tells you the first thing you should do as an early game player is build an E5 hero, and once you've done that, early game is over. And the more they add to the void, the more exciting that's going to get. And I said this when Imprints came out, and I will say it again. I think the additions to this game that they're adding in the void are actually making the game way more interesting for people who are starting off now. So, people said a while ago, and I mean like maybe even 9 months ago, just after Anniversary Gone, when they released the void, people were saying this is the death of Idle Heroes. MK's hot take now is not that. I actually think this is a rebirth for Idle Heroes. What they've done is they've taken a game that was already successful and added to it a game mode that's almost like a DLC but offers a completely new flip perspective on the game. A lot of people already thought like that. Many people still do think like that. And I think what's going to happen is it's going to add a rejuvenating breath of fresh air into the game. We're going to see an influx of new players. People are going to be curious, like, hey, what's this void? What's this E5 I need to get? That increases player attention because they're going to go, hang on a second, I want to unlock this game mode. I want to stick around and get the void. And that means when they do get their first E5, they don't then get bored because there's a whole new game mode that gets unlocked. And okay, you're going to look at these Transcendence heroes, which will be Shire, which will be Halora, and eventually Asmodel and whoever else is to come. They'll look at them and go, oh, goodness me, I have to spend a ton of money to get this. But then thanks to a game mode like this, you go, oh, but no, I can actually gain a ton of resources just by playing the game. Because Realms Gate is a massive grind. It takes forever to get the resources you need. Hopefully with the addition of this new game mode, we're going to have way more progress available for us to make. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this update affects the game. Obviously, it's going to throw the PvP meta into limbo, and I actually like that. This is going to sound really messed up, but I used to love a fixed, rigid PvP meta that didn't get changed, because I was one of those people that used to exclusively and only focus on PvP. But I notice now, as I've kind of mellowed out and become much more of a holistic player of Idle Heroes, that actually I don't mind a PvP meta that's unpredictable, where not everyone's got the same footing, where people aren't evenly balanced, and actually what proto you have is going to change how you can make progress. And of course, there are going to be whales that upgrade their protos very quickly, and we're just going to have to accept that, and they're going to top the leaderboards, they're going to have the most powerful teams. But I think it's going to be really interesting in middling ranks, where people don't have all the protos unlocked, where you really have to think about what heroes you put in your team. I guess it's like someone who's just started building guild tech. You can't go in every guild tech at once. You have to pick a specific class and take advantage of that, just like I'm doing on the free-to-play series right now with Assassins and Ithaca. I wouldn't be able to just go and build another mage after that and build someone else until I have the guild tech to justify that. So, sure, I think actually this is good. It's healthy, and I think this new addition to the game is not going to take up too much of your time. It seems quite idle. It seems very much like Celestial Island, but slightly better and potentially even more fun. So I cannot wait to cover this next week when it comes out, and hopefully that's covered everything you need to know. Hope I didn't waffle too much. And again, thank you to Stone, who was the person that gave me this information and encouraged me to make this video, because hopefully you guys find this useful and interesting. So guys, hopefully see you soon in a future video next week, where we get to take a look at the voidark for real on my main account. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below of what you hope to find in this voidark update. As well, why not look over here for some more of my videos if you're interested in checking out some Idle Heroes stuff, and hopefully join us for the ride on Twitch, where we of course do event reviews and the free-to-play series, as well as some other fun stuff. So join me at twitch.tv/MKxJUMP for all that action. Anyway guys, until next time, I hope you have a great week, and happy idling.